नारायणाय परिपूर्णगुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयसिदलयो नियतिप्रदाय ज्ञानप्रदाय विबुधासुरसर्गदुःखसत्कारणाय विदताय नमो नमस्ते। यो विप्रलम्बविपरीतमतिप्रपूतान् वादान् निरसकृतवान् पौतित्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरिति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यम् अहं नमामि। श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। Now we have to know the purpose of the life. Everybody begins their birth, they are born, they undergo a lot of changes in their life, in the age and other things, and they end the life at some point of time, and there is nothing else. So we have to know what is the purpose of life. Now even a cat or a dog or a donkey is born and it dies. Now there should be some difference in a man's life and animal's life. So what is the aim of life? What is the purpose of life? Now what is the aim of the humanity? The aim of the humanity is happiness that is uninterrupted by sorrow. Now everybody wants to be happy. Now if there is a sunlight outside, so we cannot bear that sunlight, so we just want to come inside the house and we want to switch on the AC or a fan, and so we want to be away from the misery of the heat. If there is a severe thunderstorm or if there is a heavy rainfall outside, so we want to take a raincoat or we want to take an umbrella and protect us from the misery of the chillness or the cold. So in that way everybody wants to be away from the misery and everybody wants to be happy in their life. So what is the aim of the humanity? The aim of the humanity is a happiness uninterrupted by sorrow. So we want to be happy always. A man who does not have money wants to have more money so that he can be happy. A person who is not married wants to get married and he wants to enjoy happiness through his married life. A person who doesn't have a job wants to get a good job and he wants to have a nice life. After that he wants to enjoy the happiness in the life. So, but we have not seen a person who is completely happy. A person who undergoes so many changes in their life by adding wealth or a relationship or anything, he is not happy throughout the life even with all those things. Again there is some unhappiness in his life. That is what we have seen. Is it ever possible to enjoy such uninterrupted happiness? The Vedas say it is possible, but there is a way to it. That is called as mukti. That is called as mukti. So only in mukti stage a person undergoes uninterrupted happiness. Till we reach the stage of mukti, that is we are in the sadhana stage. In sadhana stage there is always unhappiness through from some quarter or other. Now what are the Vedas? The Vedas are the eternal scriptures of the mankind. But Vedas are the eternal scriptures of the mankind. And who wrote those Vedas? Nobody wrote them. They eternally exist in the Vishnu's mind, and it is that it gives it to happen to Brahman at the beginning of each creation for the guidance of humanity. So nobody wrote the Vedas, it is there always. So they are apurusheya, it has not been written by anybody. They are eternal. Where does it available? It is available always in the mind of Vishnu. Now what do you mean by the eternal scriptures? Eternal scriptures are those that exist in the self-same order without a change due to time and space. Vedas are such scriptures. So it is not altered by the time. it is altered, it is not altered by the space. The Vedas which has been there always, so they have not undergone any changes. Now whatever you see in the life, a table, a chair, a computer, a TV, a book, a phone, everything undergoes a change with the passage of time. Vedas does not undergo any change whatsoever. Now what are papa and punya? Vedas give you a value called dharma for the guidance of the humanity. If we observe this value in our conduct, we incur merit. If we violate it, we incur sin. Now the dharma is called as code of conduct. It is a guidance to humanity. Now we should know what is dharma and what is adharma. And if we know that and if we lead our life accordingly, then we will not inherit any sin. Otherwise we will incur sin, or that is papa. How do papa and punya influence our life? Happiness is the result of punya and unhappiness is the result of papa. Hence is the call given to refrain from incurring papa or demerit if we wish to enjoy happiness, uninterrupted sorrow. Now what is dharma and what is adharma? That is our code of conduct. That is, dharma is the code of conduct. So by doing dharma we will be happy. If we do not do dharma or if we do adharma, then we are going to incur sorrow. So we should not, or we should refrain from incurring demerits or papa. Now what is dharma? Dharma is the law of order in the universe. Its correct estimate is possible only with the correct study of Vedas and practice of these same in one's life. Now dharma changes from person to person. What is dharma to me may not be dharma to the other person. What is adharma to him will be a dharma to me. Now who says what is right dharma and what is adharma? The Vedas give you the right study of the dharma and adharma. So a person who studies the Vedas or the scriptures will be able to know what is dharma and adharma properly. Why should I accept the value called dharma? Every person who accepts the value called dharma contributes to orderliness in the universe, and every person who violates it contributes to chaos in the universe. A person who practices dharma contributes to orderliness. So he is also in the good book of the God. Hence, a person who does not accept dharma by implication implies that he is interested in the disorders in the universe. So because of that person, everybody suffers. So we have to see that everybody practices dharma in a proper way. Now who is the judge? The Lord is the judge. That is, we have to know which is dharma and which is adharma, and we are not here to judge others. Now who is the best judge? The Lord is the only judge. He knows what is adharma and what is dharma. Why is he partial to some and cruel to others? The Lord is never partial to some and cruel to others. He receives each one as per the devotion practiced by that person. Now we should know that the Lord is impartial. He does not like me or he does not hates others. So it is not like that. If I am practicing dharma, that the Lord gives me more happiness. If the other person practices adharma, the Lord gives him punishment. That's all. So it is not that I am liked or I am hated by the God. Now what is his promise? His promise is to uphold the good and contain the evil. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं श्रयाम्यहम्. So the Lord is always for dharma, and he annihilates or he contains dharma, or he contains the persons who brings a disorderliness to the universe. Now, why is there evil in the world? Evil, like good, is eternal. The Lord does not choose to destroy it, but he controls it. Now, people ask this question normally: why are the bad people alive? Why can't the bad people be killed? So the Lord always controls it. There is good and there is bad. Unless there is bad in the universe, we do not know which is bad and which is good. So we have to judge what is good and what is bad. So for that, the Lord has left some bad people in the universe, number one. Number two, the Lord is not the Karanakarta, or the Lord is not responsible for those persons who bring disorderliness to the universe. But ultimately, the Lord controls everything. That is why there is Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, there is more disorderliness, or there is more adharma than in any other Yuga. In Satya Yuga, there was 100%. So after that, there was a decline. After that, there was a decline. Now in Kali Yuga, there is more decline. But finally, the Lord restores everything, and again the Satya Yuga starts. Now this purpose of the life has been brought to you by a book written by my Guru, Sri Raghupati Rao. That book's name is Bhagavad Gita 1008 Questions Answered. So we will be going through the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishnaya Namaha.